Someone hurt you once, and a voice rose up inside you that felt like justice. It said, make them pay. It felt like strength. It felt like self-respect. It was the most expensive lie your mind has ever told you. Because in the moment you decided to make them suffer, something quiet and terrible happened. You gave them a room inside your head, and you let them live there. You gave your sleep to replaying it. You gave your energy to imagining the downfall. And while you burned, they walked through the day untouched, often not even aware of the war you were waging on their behalf, inside your own mind, at your own expense. Tonight, you learn why the powerful do not take revenge. And why that refusal is not weakness, it is the coldest strength there is. Understand first what the desire for revenge actually is. It feels like power, but it is the opposite. It is a leash, one that runs from your wound straight into the hand of the person who hurt you. As long as you want to make them pay, they control your attention, your mood, your energy, your nights. The person who obsesses over revenge has not defeated his enemy. He has moved his enemy into the center of his life and given him permanent residence. The wound that demands to be avenged is the wound that is never allowed to heal, because every plan for payback is a hand tearing the stitches open again. Look at what revenge costs you, honestly. It reveals your wound. The moment you retaliate, you announce to the world that they got to you, that they mattered enough to move you, and that is precisely the victory they wanted. It wastes your strength. The energy poured into someone else's downfall is energy stolen from your own rise. It lowers you. To strike back in kind is to descend to their level, to let the worst person set the terms of your behavior. And it frequently backfires. Revenge is emotional, and emotional action is clumsy, exposed, and easy to turn against you. You aim at them from a place of pain, and pain aims badly. Machiavelli would understand this with perfect clarity, because he studied conflict without illusion. He was not a soft man, and he did not preach that you must love those who harm you. But he understood something the vengeful never grasp, that action against an enemy, if it is ever taken at all, must be cold, decisive, and strategic, never a hot, half measure born of wounded pride. The worst thing a person can do, in the spirit of his thinking, is to strike from emotion, to wound an enemy just enough to enrage him, while revealing your own hand and your own hurt. The impulsive act of revenge is the clumsiest move on the board. And more often than not, the strategist finds he need not move against his enemy at all, because time, consequence, and the man's own nature will do the work far more thoroughly than any retaliation he could design. In the spirit of Machiavelli, power belongs to whoever governs three things above all here. Emotion, because the one who acts from his wound has surrendered his judgment to the person who wounded him. Timing, because the vengeful strike now, in heat, exposed, while the strategist understands that time is the patient executioner of everyone who deserves it. And perception, because the one who retaliates reveals that he was hurt, while the one who stays composed reveals nothing, and gives his enemy no satisfaction to feed on. The person who reacts to every wrong is controlled by everyone willing to wrong him. The person who refuses to react has taken back the one thing they were trying to steal, his composure. Watch how this plays out in the life you actually live. Consider the ex who wronged you, the betrayal, the disrespect, the ending that left a wound. The vengeful path is to obsess, to plot, to make sure they see your anger, to try to hurt them back. And every one of those moves keeps them alive inside you, keeps the connection burning, keeps you emotionally married to a person you claim to want gone. The powerful path is the quiet one. You withdraw completely, you give no reaction, you turn all that energy inward, and you build a life so full that they become irrelevant. Nothing devastates a person who wanted to hurt you like your genuine indifference. Not your rage feeds them. Your indifference starves them. Consider the colleague who betrayed you, who took credit, who moved against you in the dark. The instinct is to strike back, to expose them, to wage the office war. But the strategist knows that people reveal themselves over time, that a person who betrays will betray again, and that the patient response is to protect yourself, document quietly, rise on your own merit, and let their nature do to them what you would be foolish to do yourself. The betrayer's character is a debt that time always collects. Consider the friend who wronged you, the family member who cut deep, the rival who mocked your ambitions. In every case, the same law holds. Retaliation ties you to them. Indifference, plus your own relentless rise, frees you from them. And online, where the whole architecture is built to bait you into reaction, the person who responds to every hater, every insult, every provocation has handed strangers the remote control to his emotions. The one with real composure lets it pass, unbothered, and denies the provoker the only thing he came for. Why does this work so deeply on the human mind? Because revenge promises relief and delivers poison. The mind believes that making them pay will close the wound, but retaliation does not close it, it reopens it, because now you have made yourself an actor in their story, chained to the outcome, waiting to see if the payback landed. Rumination is the real punishment, and it punishes the one doing the ruminating. Meanwhile, indifference works a quiet magic. The person who wronged you was braced for your anger, anger they could justify, feed on, use to make themselves the victim. What they cannot process is your calm. Your genuine unbotheredness tells them the one thing they cannot stand to hear, that they did not matter enough to move you. And beneath all of it runs the deepest law of all, that time reveals everyone. The person's true nature, hidden from others but shown to you, does not stay hidden forever. Time is the one force that exposes character without your having to lift a finger. You need only rise, and wait, and let it. So here is the discipline, woven into the way you carry yourself. Do not reveal that they hurt you. This is the first and hardest rule. The wound shown is the victory handed over. Whatever you feel, and you may feel it fully, in private, let your surface stay calm. Give them no reaction to feed on. Your composure is the wall they cannot get past. Withdraw your attention completely. Attention is what keeps them alive inside you. Every time your mind returns to them, gently take it back, and place it on your own life. You do not defeat an enemy by thinking about them constantly. You defeat them by making them irrelevant to your days. Let time and consequence do the work. You rarely need to act against someone who has shown you who they are. Their nature is already carrying them toward their own consequences. Step back, protect yourself, and let the slow machinery of time do what your rage would only botch. Channel the energy into building. The fire that revenge would waste is real power. Redirect it. Pour it into your work, your body, your mind, your future. Let the person who wronged you become, without ever knowing it, the fuel for a rise they will one day have to witness from the outside. Never lower yourself to their level. The moment you act as they acted, they have remade you in their image, and they have won the deeper battle. Hold your standards precisely when it is hardest. Your refusal to become like them is itself the victory. And if you ever must act, in a real matter, with real stakes, act coldly, strategically, and never in heat. Emotional action is exposed and clumsy. If a situation genuinely requires a response, let it be considered, precise, and free of the wound that would otherwise aim it badly. But understand that these moments are rare, and most of what feels urgent to avenge is better left to time. Above all, let your rise be the only answer you ever give. Say nothing, explain nothing, retaliate against no one, simply become someone their actions can no longer touch, and let the distance between what you have become and what they remain speak louder than any revenge ever could. Now understand what stands at the end of this discipline, because it is a kind of power the vengeful will never know. The one who does not seek revenge becomes untouchable, not because he cannot be hurt, but because he denies the world the reaction it uses to hurt him. You cannot wound a person who will not bleed for you. You cannot control a man whose composure does not break. His indifference is heavier than any retaliation, because it tells his enemy the unbearable truth: you did not matter enough to change me. And while they stay small, chained to their own worst nature, he rises, freely, because he refused to carry them with him. This is the freedom the powerful guard most carefully. Not the freedom to strike back, but the freedom from needing to. The person still seeking revenge is still a prisoner, his cell is his own mind, and his jailer is the person who wronged him. The person who has released it walks out of that cell entirely. He forgives, not because the other deserved it, but because he refuses to carry the weight one more step. Forgiveness, understood correctly, is not a gift to the person who hurt you. It is you, setting yourself free. So let them keep whatever they took. Let them wonder why you never came for them. Let them watch, from the small place they never left, as you rise into a life so complete that their betrayal becomes a footnote you rarely think to read. Give them no war, give them no reaction, give them nothing but the sight of a person who moved on so fully that revenge was never even necessary. If this lesson spoke to you, stay with the Machiavellian mind. Because the greatest revenge was never revenge at all. It was becoming someone their actions could no longer touch.